Hello, hello, hello to everyone out there on the Flip Your Life member call for December. How are you guys doing today? This is a quick sound check. We're going to jump straight into our questions. Jocelyn is over here with me.
Hey guys.
So make sure you can hear us both. Please let us know in the chat on this sound check. We want to make sure that everybody can hear first, and then we will start jumping into some questions. Okay, so if you are in the chat right now, Jocelyn, are you in the chat yet?
I'm working on it right
Okay,
now.
Jocelyn is heading into the chat room right now. I can hear you both. Chris says, "Welcome, Chris." Then, hey, John, Mariana. Hope I'm saying that right. Let's see who else we got in here. So I've already talked to a bunch of people in the chat. We got Anthea, we got John Holder, Megan. Welcome. Hi, Jessica. How's Knoxville today? Let's see who else is in here. Jeanette is here and having a very good day because she sold 17 memberships to one school. That's pretty awesome. Great post going on in the success forum right now about that. And Jocelyn is jumping in the chat and she is going to start welcoming everyone as they come in. Hope everybody is having a great day. We are finishing up some work today in our online business, getting a few things done on some sales funnels. That's our main mission for today. We are actually going to get out of town tomorrow for a couple days and take our kids down to the mountains and enjoy a little bit of an early weekend. We're going to let the kids miss a couple days of school and go and have a little flip lifestyle fun for a couple days. We've just kind of been cooped up here for the last 8 weeks. Most of you know we've been very sick with pneumonia and bronchitis and every illness known to man, basically. So we're starting to feel pretty good, and we want to go and get out of the house for a couple days just to have some fun. So if I could get a couple more people, we've got Kathleen. Thank you very much and I did say Mariana's name right, Jocelyn. I got her name correct.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
is
we're not so good at the
that's pretty
pronunciation.
impressive. But
Just so you know, you can stop the scrolling to the latest message. If you click on that little gear, there will be a setting that says scroll to latest message. That means if somebody replies, it automatically bumps down. I'm going to turn that off so that I can look for people's questions as we go along.
and if you want that on just to keep up with the conversation, you just leave it checked, right? Is that right?
Yeah, and we're not going to be showing anything on the screen today, so you can just stay down in the chat room. You can also bump that little chat box out. There is a little box in the top right corner of the chat box. It looks like two blocks or squares. If you just click on that, it will pop the chat box out into a new window in case you are multitasking today.
And also, too, please remember that the audio is about 2 to 5 minutes behind what's happening in the chat room real time. Are you in the chat room yet? Yeah, there you are. So make sure that you are asking your questions ahead of time. Don't wait for me or Jocelyn to ask for the questions. We need your questions now. So looks like we've got 7 people, something like that, maybe 30. There's some more just logged in. Welcome, everyone. What's going on, Jackie? FYL fam in the house. Make sure you go ahead and start putting your online business questions in right now. Jocelyn will be writing those down and getting those out of the chat room for us so that they are ready for us when we go. If we have to stop and say, hey, go ahead and ask your question, you're going to be waiting 2 to 5 minutes for us to get the question because there's a lag. So everyone who's listening right now, make sure you keep letting us know. I'm going to do a sound check about every 15 minutes to make sure that you can hear everything that we're doing. And post your questions as soon as you get in here. Go ahead and write them in the chat box right now, and Jocelyn will get those. Please keep your questions to immediate action. That's why we're all here, is to get the next step in our online business. What do you need to do right now to move your business forward? We want to make sure that we're focused on things that we can go get done today, next week, in the next few weeks to move everyone's business forward.
Yeah, I just wanted to just throw out there right now, we've been seeing a trend of people kind of stressed out and worrying that they're not doing the right things or they're not doing enough. And, just wanted to throw it out there. Don't be so hard on yourself because it is holiday time. Things are really busy right now. It's really busy for us as well. And we find ourselves kind of I don't know, lacking in motivation the past couple of days. So, if you're feeling that way, you're not alone. I mean, it's okay. We do want you to take action, but don't beat yourself up during this time of year if it's not everything that you wanted to do.
And December is a weird month, guys, because, if you're not in retail during December, you're probably not making a lot of money. When I was growing up, my father owns an insurance agency, and I can always remember that December was just terrible. It was just really slow. And it was because everyone else is out buying TVs and Christmas presents and Xboxes for their kids. And, that kind of stuff is what goes on. But service based businesses, businesses that are online, if you're not selling physical products, are slower during December. The good thing is, once the holidays are over, people kind of get back to normal. New Year passes, and people really get fired up again and start thinking about their life, going back to work. The online business stuff picks up, but it is going to be slow right now. That goes for everything, not just money, but traffic. Just anything you're doing online is going to be a little slow for the next few weeks until we all get to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and get back to our normal lives. So keep grinding. This is more of a preparation time, preparing for 2016, getting systems in place so that you'll be ready when that gets here.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing right now. We are trying to get some systems in place so that we can move forward full steam ahead once January gets here. So, we're going to go ahead and jump into some of our questions. The first one is from Jeanette. She
Well, hold
says,
on, wait. Let's do this. What if we did this first? Like, what if we did a couple questions down at the bottom, and that way we're ahead. You want to do like Melly asked a question in the comments, and they're here,
sure.
and so did John. You want to do that? So I'm gonna hit refresh, make sure anybody posted. Yeah, see, there's like 3 questions in the bottom. Let's just knock those out, and then we'll.
Eric is feeling awake today. All right.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, so let's do Melly's question down under the chat first. All right, we're going to start with the comments below. We're going to get a couple questions ahead. Keep posting your questions in the chat, guys, so that when we get to it, we can go ahead and answer those questions, and we will be writing those down as we go. So if you have an online business question, answer now, and then we're going to go ahead and jump into the first question for today.
All right. The first question that we have says, what are your strategies on pre launching and then post selling memberships after launch with a webinar?
So it sounds like we're talking about here about pre-launching
A
a
product.
product and then trying to sell a membership off the back end of the products. Okay. So what you're saying here is fine. There's no strategy change between pre-launching a product and pre-launching a membership. The basic thing with a pre-launch is you tell about the benefits that are going to be available. You give a discount plus extra access as a part of your pre-sale, and that way, and then a promise of future benefits. So that's what you're going to do anytime you pre-sell any product, whether it's a membership or a product, just by the standalone deal. Selling a membership after works just like a tripwire in your sales funnel. You can use a small product as a what's called a tripwire, or it identifies paying customers. If you can get someone to spend $25, in theory, you could get them to spend $100 because there's momentum. That's a person who has money to pay. You know that because they've already bought something. So it's really easy to do that. The biggest thing I would say is do it immediately. One of the biggest mistakes that we see people making on upsells is they want to wait to upsell. When someone clicks buy, they have their credit card in their hand. They have momentum and they're already inspired by what you want to do. So just go ahead and upsell them. We try to upsell people directly on thank you pages, even on our email opt-ins. If you sign in for our email list and get a free lesson plan, the page you go to where we deliver the free lesson plan on our website is actually a sales page that upsells you directly into our membership. So whether you're pre-selling or pre-launching a small product, you're giving away an email opt-in, you just have to do it immediately and then kind of hit them again later if they don't purchase right away. Is that what you would say, Jocelyn?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we are all for pre-selling stuff
Anything.
by all means. I love pre-selling because it really keeps you on the hook for delivering for your customers because they've already paid for it and you know that you have to get that done for them. So I really like to pre-sell anything. As far as selling off the back end of a product, I'm totally cool with that if
Yeah.
that's the way that you want to do it. In fact, I think it's a really viable strategy. When you're making your products, we first want you to concentrate on your opt-in bonus. That's your free offer for people in exchange for giving you their email address to get on your email list. And next, if you do not already have a large audience, I like that introductory offer, that tripwire, to see if what you're thinking is actually viable. And from that, what you should be doing is getting input from your audience and starting to think about your membership site if that's what you want to do after that point. And you should be pre selling that off the back of that introductory or tripwire offer.
So basically, the way the sales funnel for this would work, I would assume, would be we're going to have some kind of opt in. So we're going to drive traffic to this opt in. And then you're going to get people on that list to see the pre sale, to see the pre launch sales page of this introductory product that you've got. The thank you page where you deliver that small product is going to be an upsell immediately into this membership. And then after you have this thing running for a little while, you would email all the people that bought the product, not necessarily email the whole list, but email all the people that bought the first small product, get them to the webinar about the membership. And one more last thing on this topic is that I would say too is I'm not totally convinced you need a tripwire here. You could just sell the membership if you wanted to and say that that product is inside the membership. You don't have to have all the steps if you don't want to. You can go email list to membership. But if you do want to put the tripwire in there and kind of identify people that will pay, that's fine. You got no problem. I think either way, you've got a solid strategy. Just execute it. Don't dwell on this. You've got a game plan now. Go back and listen to this again. This video will be in the membership area. You need to write this down on a piece of paper and get it done over the next 4 weeks.
Sorry about all the coughing, guys. I'm still
We're
not 100%.
we're
well.
99%. 99%.
Yeah, I'd say I'm more like 95. But yeah. So that answers that question. Next, we're going to move on to John. And if you have a question for us, I have been taking them down if you've already asked a question. But if you have a question for us to answer, just go ahead and put it right there in the chat box and we will get it down for you. Mariana just asked, could you reshare the 3 things you want when you pre-sell a membership?
When you resell what 3
You were
things? The things
just
that
saying,
Jocelyn
you
said?
just said 3 things, but
Oh, when you pre-sell a membership?
yeah.
All right. You want to go through the benefits of what you have, of what it is. You want to offer them some kind of huge discount. Like if you're going to charge $100 a month, you might let people in for 50, just as an example.
This is when you're starting
When
out.
you're starting out. So you got your benefits, you got your pre-sale, and then you want to give more access up front in a pre-sale than you do on the back end of what the membership is actually going to look like. Okay. And please remember, guys, these calls are recorded. They are left here in the forum, so you can definitely go back and hear everything again once the call is up. We don't take this down. Okay. There is a replay. All right. Let's move on to John Holder's question.
All right. John says, I need help setting up the forums on my page. I would like to know if you're aware of any good resources that can recommend forum categories, rules for the community and posting, and a guide for moderators. I guess I could dig around, but I'm wondering if there's a good one-stop shop for this type of thing. Maybe it's already out there and I haven't stumbled upon it.
Okay. I think here, John, the biggest thing I can tell you is keep it simple, get it done, and move on. These are things that we know from experience. The categories, that's basically whatever your niche is about. The only things you really need for sure are a general forum, and you want as few forums as possible inside your membership area. It's a real big mistake that people make to try to fragment their entire membership out into 100 different forums and 100 different topics. I learned this through my football membership site because it had a lot of forums in it. At first, I had like 20 forums. I had a general forum, I had an offense forum, I had a defense forum, I had a quarterbacks forum, I had a running backs forum, I had everything you could ever imagine in football. And that was a mistake. Nobody ever talked because no one could ever find anything. And I really eliminated it down to 3 forums at the end. There was just offense, defense, and special teams. And you just, whatever category fit, it just went in there. So we try to keep as few forums as possible, and it's really niche dependent. So just start with a general forum, maybe pick 2 other things that are related to your niche that you can break things down into. Like we have a success forum. We have a social forum. Just copy what we've done. That's the first place you should start. As for rules, don't make a lot of rules. Just tell people to use common sense. This is another thing I learned from coaching and teaching. The more rules you make, the more rules you got to enforce, and the more work you got to do.
But with that being said, as you go along in your forums, you will notice that there are some rules that you need to make.
Exactly.
And typically that's what we do is we wait until there's a problem. Don't create a problem before there is a problem. Now, granted, you're going to have some rules like an elementary
Don't
librarian.
spam the group.
Yeah,
Like
one
that.
of my rules is there's no selling of any kind. So you may want to set a few rules in place, but otherwise just wait until things come up and you need to make a rule for them.
So basically maybe come up with 10 common sense rules off the top of your head that everyone should follow from an etiquette standpoint in any forum. Start with those and then add things as you go. And the last thing I would comment on is moderators. Jocelyn and I are not against moderators in a paid forum, but we really don't go that route because we believe that we should be monitoring the forum. We should be taking care of issues. And we have just incorporated a simple flagging system where people can report something. And then if the flag pops up, we delete it or kind of glance at it and look at it as we go. I mean, until you probably have 500 to 1,000 people in your forum, you're not going to need a moderator. And we don't think you should be using a moderator because we think that's one step away from removing yourself completely from the forum and having community managers answer every single question, and you're just this aloof person outside of the mix.
Well, I think it depends on whether you have a personal brand that you're a major part of, or if you have a more content-driven website. Like for Elementary Librarian, I very rarely go in there because it's a content-driven membership.
We have VAs monitor,
and I do have virtual assistants that monitor just to make sure that nothing crazy is happening.
That's a good point. So basically, for categories, start with a general forum, maybe 3 other categories, your niche, based on your niche. For rules, start with some basics and then just add things as they come up. And for moderators, like Jocelyn said, if it's about you, if you're the leader of this tribe, then you need to be in there doing the moderating. Okay. If you get 1,000 members, by all means, get some moderators, but you're probably not going to need that up front. And if it's a content-based membership, just get a VA to make sure nobody's spamming it up, and you should be okay. But this is not a big deal, is what I'm trying to tell you. Don't go out searching on Google for a whole day looking for all this nonsense. Just do it. Just set up your categories, set up some rules, and go and launch your forum. Don't let it be a hang up because this is one of those perfection issues that might stop you from moving forward. Okay. All right. Let's get our next question from Mariana. Right here in the comments, I think is the best one. And then we'll hit the chat box.
Okay. Let me refresh because I'm not seeing that question.
Okay. Yeah, I think she just posted it.
Okay, now I'm getting a 404 error, so you're going to have to read.
Okay. Mariana says, just log back in. You probably logged out. I am planning on starting to pre-sell my community tomorrow. That's a big deal. Good job, Mariana. All right. So she has 2 bullet points here. Number 1, should I commit to a launch date with those that buy as part of the pre-sale?
Yes.
Yes, you should. We'll get back to that. And when will I know I have built enough content to launch? Okay. All right. Like Jocelyn said, yes, your pre-sale page needs a date. That's going to hold you to the fire and get you going. And it instills a lot of confidence in the people that are buying that this is what I'm looking forward to. This is what I put my money down for. This is when this is going to happen. If it's just this arbitrary, it's coming, and if you join, it'll be there eventually. No, that's not going to get people to pull their wallet out and give you money. So yes, you should 100% commit to a date to do that. Number 2, when will I know I have built enough content to launch? The content you build will be based on the pre-sale benefits that you list. So if you give yourself a list of 7 benefits and maybe it's each one's a 20-minute video, then you have to get those done by the date that you set, and you have to launch with that. Whatever you have done by the date you commit to is what you launch with. Even if you're not finished, you let those people in and start consuming the content you have created. Because remember, people aren't gonna join, like, people don't join the Flip Your Life forum and go watch all 57 videos that are in the training forums in one day. That's impossible. In reality, most people have jobs and they have lives, and they're gonna be learning this over time. So even if you said you were gonna do 7 videos and you've only got 4 done, go ahead and launch with those 4. People will start on video 1 and they'll move into it. And then maybe a couple days later they'll watch 2, and maybe a couple days later they'll watch 3, and then by that time you've got the 5th one done. So by the time they get there, the video creates, and you'll build momentum and have some accountability there. When your paying customers are moving toward where you need to be, you'll finish the video. Jocelyn, what do you have to say about this on the commitment to the launch date?
I think it's really important because not only does it establish credibility for you because people know exactly what to expect and when to expect it, it also gives you great motivation for getting things done. So I would definitely go with that strategy. I mean, just full steam ahead. Um, you can let people know if it's your beta version of your membership. Basically, what we did with Flip Your Life is we had a rough outline and we said this is basically what we're thinking. It may change somewhat along the way because people will have questions and comments and things that we didn't think of when we were originally planning the membership. But for the most part, this is when it's going to be. You can expect a new lesson each week is the way that we did it. So it doesn't matter how you decide to do it. You just need to decide on a timeline and then deliver on that timeline.
So basically, I love that you're taking action on this pre-launch. I love that you're getting all this put together and pre-selling this to your community. You're getting that sales page done. You're ready to go. Get the people in and move forward. I'm pretty sure that when the first time we launched Flip Your Life, we had the pre-sale, we had all this done. I had listed like, I think 30 training steps that we were going to include, but I think we only had 20 done. And I think we actually cut 6 of them out and only ended up with like 24 or something like that in that first class, because we didn't have to do everything because the people didn't want everything that we had listed originally. And we just didn't have time to get it finished. We got as much done as we could. We got it in place, and then we just added to it as the membership grew. So don't worry about it. Roll with it. Go with it. Even if it messes up, even if something happens, you want to deliver on time. But if you don't get everything done, you can always add it as you go moving forward, and you can kind of like work that into your plan to grow the site. Ask people what they want. Ask if they need that, and they'll give you some feedback, and it'll move forward. Okay. And if all else fails and everything broke and nothing worked out, well, just step back, fix it all, and launch again. You get more. This is like baseball. You get more at bats, and you only need about a 33% hitting average to be a Hall of Famer. Okay, guys. So get out there and keep swinging and keep moving forward, and you'll be all right. All right, let's jump into now the questions that are coming from the chat. We've taken care of the questions that are below. So Jocelyn has been writing these down, and I'm trying to keep
I
up.
just realized that writing them down is actually not the best strategy. So I'm now copying and pasting them into a document, which I will print.
Technology, baby. That's what
Or
I'm
just
talking
look at
about.
on the screen.
Or yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
All right,
Work smarter, not harder, people.
All right, so let's get to the first question in our chat, and we'll try to roar through as many of these as possible. And remember, if we don't get to every single question today, we can just post anything we didn't get to in the forums, and we will answer those before we get before the day's over. That way, we make sure you got the info you need to move forward. Okay.
Okay. First is from Jeanette. Jeanette would like to hear about your Google AdWords strategy.
All right. So Google AdWords, our Google AdWords strategy right now, we're really shifting our advertising to more platforms than just Facebook, because while Facebook is amazing and everyone is on Facebook, sometimes it can be a little difficult to target the people you want when you need to target them. For example, I have identified a lot of social studies teachers on Facebook with different keywords, different interests, and different likes. But catching a teacher at home when they're playing on Facebook is not always the best strategy to make conversions. Now, when a teacher needs something, like let's say I needed an Abraham Lincoln worksheet tomorrow for my class, where am I going to go? I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search for Abraham Lincoln worksheet, and I'm going to try to download that thing. So I determined that I can jump in front of that traffic, get them to my site to give them the free worksheet, and then upsell them on my lesson plans. Okay. We've also realized that with a lot of keyword research, that it might be much cheaper for us to advertise on Google for our education sites than it is on Facebook, because a lot of the keywords like Civil War worksheet or Civil War PowerPoint, whatever, they're very cheap, very inexpensive. I can probably get clicks for pennies, basically. So our basic strategy, when I draw it on the whiteboard, now there's a lot of mechanics underneath this, Jeanette, so I don't want to get into too much detail here. But our general strategy is this: go to Google and target keywords. Get clicks from people who are actively searching for these solutions right then and there to the website. So we're buying very cheap traffic from Google. That's very highly targeted. It's people looking for things they need right now. Once they hit ushistoryteachers.com, then what we're going to do is we're going to pixel them. We're going to use the tracking pixel from Google and from Facebook. So we're going to actually track everyone that hits the website. They're going to get tracked by Facebook and Google. So now we're going to retarget those people as they surf the web. Any site that's using AdSense, they've been cookied, they've been pixeled. It's going to show them an ad for our product.
So it's just like when you go to someone's online store like Amazon or some other online store, and then surprisingly or not surprisingly, you see an ad for that exact product that you were just looking at on another website.
Right. So that way we can kind of follow them around the web, even if they didn't give us their email address. Okay. So basically, we buy cheap traffic, and then we pay for ads to the product. So the original Google ad is actually something free. It's something that we send to our website for them to download for free. It's like an opt-in. That's what we're paying initially to advertise. As soon as they get retargeted with the pixel on our website, then now the ad's going to show them is for our membership. Like, get more worksheets, get more lesson plans, get more things. And it's going to follow them everywhere they go, on Facebook, on Google, and everywhere else. So that's the initial strategy, is to buy very cheap traffic, retarget them. That way we can always show them new stuff, even if we don't get their email address, and then show them ads to our paid products after they visited our site, because that's warmer traffic. Okay. So in a nutshell, that's our strategy that we're building right now into our Google AdWords campaign. And I will try to have you guys some results for that. Maybe in February we can do a podcast or something. We're going to do we have a huge campaign in place right now that we're about to do, and should be a great case study to see how all of us can incorporate other ad networks besides Facebook into our strategy. Okay. All right. What do we got next?
All right. Next is from Megan. Megan says, did you have to share Elementary Librarian and Coach XO to make Flip Lifestyle work? Could it have been kept private? Megan is wanting to teach about what she does, but she's not sure she wants to put her own business out there. And I feel you on this, Megan, because especially, I think you said you were doing things about crafts or crafting. That's really competitive, and there are a lot of people out there doing it. So, like, I can sort of feel what you're saying. Like, I know what you mean as far as being like a little bit worried to put that out there. For me, I mean, certainly someone could try to replicate what I've done.
It'd be very hard, though.
But it would be really difficult because, I mean, I have over 500 lesson plans for libraries. So, first of all, it's going to take somebody months to do that. And, I just don't really worry about that a whole lot.
And I also believe that there's two reasons you might not want to show yourself out there. Number one is you just don't want to go public because maybe you're afraid it'll jeopardize your job or something like that. And I think that's a consideration you've got to look at. But I will say this on this note: you are eventually going to have to go more public than you probably want to make that work. All right. Number two is you're afraid someone's going to steal your stuff, like Jocelyn was just talking about. We don't ever worry about that. Because if they want to steal it, they're going to steal it anyway. If someone wants to copy you or replicate you, we have people all the time. We have spammers will clone our site and try to trick people into clicking on links to it. Just happens. If someone wanted to just download everything we had, all 5,000 whatever lessons, they probably could. You can't stop them, but no one's going to be able to copy you. No one's going to be able to be you. They're not going to be able to provide the same content. They're not going to have like Jocelyn said, it took years to develop all these lesson plans to build up this much content. If someone wanted to go down the road of trying to be our competitor, bring it, because they're going to have a long road to hoe. So I would just say, it's probably not as big a deal as you think to go public. You're eventually going to have to go public if you want to be a teacher coach. You're going to have to share some things. We don't share everything. We don't share our expense reports. We share big numbers and highlight some things that we have had success at, but we're not like a lot of the other gurus that want to write down every penny they invoice and, show everybody the world. But you are going to have to prove that you know this. You're going to have to, if you want to teach something, you have to prove expertise. You got to prove that you've been there and done that, or you're not going to have any authority.
And if you don't necessarily want to give away your own information, I mean, there are other ways to do it. Social proof is one. So you could let someone have access to your materials in exchange for a review. So that would say that you are an authority based on what someone else says about you, which you should be doing in addition to anything else you're doing anyway. Another way to do it is to, I know some people who have created a second business and sort of grew that one so that they could have a public face and a private face of their business. I
Yep.
have a really good friend who has done this. Also, you could help somebody to start a business from scratch
Case study.
and use that as a case study.
All right. So basically, if you want to be a teacher coach in any space, any niche, you are going to have to be pretty public. And you're going to have people are going to have to know what you've done, but you can create mechanisms to kind of protect your main source of business to keep you from having to be so public. I think a lot of this is fear. I think a lot of people are scared to put themselves out there. I don't know if this is your case, but don't be afraid of people stealing your stuff. Don't be afraid to be a little public. And with that being said, don't jeopardize, your career or your life, offline in doing that. Okay. All right. What do we got next?
All right, next is from Rena, and she says she needs to upgrade her email provider. And she's worried that if she upgrades or switches to a CRM, and a CRM is a customer relationship management system, like Infusionsoft, Entreport, Active Campaign, or just a few of those. She says she's worried that she will have to get help installing it to make it work with her membership plugin. So she wants to know basically, is it easier to switch email providers or to change membership plugins?
Ew, that's a chicken and egg kind of deal.
Yeah, what I would say to that is if you're already using a membership plugin that you're happy with, I would try to find an email system that already works with that.
Yeah.
And chances are that one of them at least probably does.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this too. When you're at the point in your business when you need to upgrade your email system to a CRM, or you need to upgrade, all your systems where they work together, that's a really good place to be in your business because you're about to hit the next level. It's also a signal that it's time to invest in your business. You're going to have to bet on yourself when you're ready to make this switch. I know that Jocelyn and I probably have spent about $10,000 on improving our email systems in the last year. We've moved to different systems. We've tried different things and we've hired different people. You're better off hiring someone to do this. If you're not to a point where you feel comfortable hiring someone, you might want to just stick with what you've got for a little while and keep making money. Keep trying to build cash to where you can go hire someone to do this, because this is extremely time consuming. It is very difficult, but on the backside of it is amazing automation, is amazing capabilities to sell more product, and amazing capabilities to grow your business. So like Jocelyn said, you're better off changing as few things as possible at the same time. So find the system that will work with your membership plugin is probably the best answer here. But don't be afraid to change everything if you want to make it better. If you can make it better and make more money on the back end, who cares if you spend $10,000 if that investment makes you $100,000? Be willing to bet on yourself. It's the only way you can get to the next level in online business.
But with that being said, if you do decide to hire someone, make sure that you get some really solid references on them.
Oh, we've been burned.
Yeah, we've been burned a couple of times, and I just wish that I would have done a little bit more research before I hired someone. So just be careful. Make sure you actually speak to someone that they've worked with in the past.
A very wise mentor of ours told us one time, we were kind of looking for a cheap way to do something like this. And I was looking for a really quote unquote good price on something. And he basically told me that, if you hire someone, how do you say this? If you look for the cheap way out, okay? Or no, he said if you hire the person that costs more but knows what they're doing, it's going to cost you a little money. But if you hire someone who's cheap and doesn't know what you're doing, it could cost you everything because it's going to be a disaster. So that's what I would say in this situation is really do your homework, figure out what will meet your actual needs, not what you want to do, not what a guru is doing or tells you should be doing. What meets your actual needs, what will make your business grow, and bet on yourself and invest in those systems to make it happen so that you can go to the next level. Okay? All right.
All right, next is a question from Jessica. And she later commented that she thinks she has the answer, but I thought it would be worth revisiting just because this is a question that we get really often. Jessica says, we are transitioning to a membership for our DIY community. And Jessica is in an accounting company. And she says she has 100 videos planned to record between now and January 1st.
Holy crap.
Okay,
Jessica, what are you doing?
first of all, Jessica, you're crazy.
You're crazy,
as your
Jessica.
client, we can say that.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
So she says, what's the minimum I need to do to start the membership?
Okay. So she wants to make 100 videos and then pre-launch this, basically?
I think she's just worried that she's not going to have enough content in the membership when they start selling this.
Yeah. Your videos are awesome and in depth and long because I've seen them. I would make 10 of them in right now and launch with the list of what's coming and then a schedule to release one a week and let your members kind of have that stuff coming out to them. Maybe 2 a week. I don't know, whatever you can get done. But,
100's a little ambitious.
100's a little ambitious. Yeah, especially if these are long videos. I mean, if they're 5-minute videos and you're paying to have it all edited, maybe it's not that big of a deal, but it's still going to be really mentally draining and taxing to try to do all that at once. Why not just lift the monkey off your back, get the stress off of you, and just say, hey, I'm going to take 2 weeks, film the first 10 videos. We're going to launch telling people what is about, everything is about. Maybe you go ahead and just set up all the posts where they're going to appear and just put coming soon. And then just, have a schedule where you're going to record 2 or 3 at once. You don't have to have all that content, guys. You really don't need it. We tell everybody we've launched this product with about 20 videos, and it's been wildly successful. You just have to have what you need. And not every, if you have 100 videos and they're all 20 minutes long, that's a lot of hours of content. So no one is going to be able to do all that and watch all that content anyway. It would probably take them a month just to get through all the content. Probably more. Most people aren't going to watch more than 2 videos a day. So that's 50 days of content right there. So why don't you just make the first 10, set up the infrastructure real quick to show where all the other videos are going to be at, and just put coming soon, and you'll be fine. Okay. So no stress, back it off, 10 videos, go ahead and launch it in January. Here's what it is, and here's what's coming. Get on board now, and you'll make just as much money as you would have if you had every single video done. Okay.
All right. Next, let's move on to Veronica. Veronica says, how did you source all of the images and information for your social studies program?
With Jocelyn looking over my shoulder to keep me from plagiarizing, basically. What we did was for the lesson plans, I had a content creator make a lot of the lessons for me, paid someone else to do it, basically. And we just had some guidelines and rules that we used when we were looking up images, thanks to my copyright protecting
librarian
rule following ninja over here. Basically what we did was we found most of the images on Google search, and we looked for what is it called?
Okay, so there are a couple of different ways to do this.
Yeah, tell them how to do it.
If you're looking in Google Images, you just go to the image search, and let me look at it so I can make sure that I'm telling you the right thing.
I'm gonna share my screen now, so everybody kind of take a look at the. I'm gonna do a little quick screen share.
Okay, so if you just search for something, I just search for United States flag. And I go over to where it says search tools on the right side. And Shane is actually pulling this up on the screen. So
what did you look for?
I searched for United States flag.
Okay, so I'm going to put flag. United States. United States flag.
I figured that hopefully wouldn't give us any questionable images.
Yeah, right. That'd be terrible.
Okay.
Welcome to our dirty call here.
Okay.
All right. So what
So,
do I go
because you
to?
never know when you search
Go
on
to
Google
images,
but
right?
okay. So next you're going to go down to where it says search tools on the right.
Okay. Everybody should be looking at their screen now. I'm showing this on the Hangout.
Up at the top it says search tools.
Okay. Search tools.
And you click on usage rights.
Usage rights.
And so we want to do labeled for reuse or labeled for reuse with modification. This means that people have given permission for these images to be reused and modified.
And you can look below. It says there's also an option for non-commercial use. So you really want to go with reuse only, because non-commercial means you can't profit off of using these images. They're just images like maybe for news organizations or something like that. But you want to go just labeled for reuse. And if modifications, like if you want to Canva it, right?
Basically. Yeah, like if you put it in Canva and you put some words on it or something like that, that would be a modification. Now there's another site, and I'm going to put
Let me go ahead and finish showing them this first. Okay. So what happens is when I click that labeled for reuse, the only images that show up in the Google search results now are things that are not copyright protected. These are just open images. It was really easy for US history because most images that we find for history, like, are public images. They're things that were taken in public or done in public. So basically, just whatever you're searching for, you can probably find something good in that reuse place, and you really don't have to worry about getting people to come back in and, stop using my image thing. But that doesn't happen very often. It's really not a huge deal, but this just gives you, this pretty much 99.9% guarantees you're not going to get in trouble for using an image.
All right, there's another site that I have used in the past. It's called FYL, and I put it into the chat box. It's MORGUEFILE.com. These are pictures that people have taken and uploaded to FYL for the purpose of people using for free. You have permission to use them, and as far as I know, do whatever you would like to do with them.
Oh, that's spam.
There's also a website.
Spam. I typed it in wrong.
There's also a website for free clip art. It is CLKER.com. I guess that's supposed to be clicker, CLKER. And that has just like clip art type images. And I have used those a couple of times. But honestly, my favorite thing to do now is to go into Canva, because they have a full library of images.
Yeah.
And they're only $1.
Yeah.
So instead of me wasting 20, 30 minutes trying to find a decent picture on Google or on FYL or whatever, I can get in Canva and find one within like 2 minutes. Yes, I have to pay $1 for it, but it's worth my time because I didn't waste all that time looking for something decent.
Yeah, think about this too. Like, what if you wrote 200 blog posts next year? Now think about that. What if you wrote 200 blog posts, just random number here? And now, what if you had one image per blog post at the top of your blog post? It'd only be $200 total, and you saved, like Jocelyn said, an hour a blog post trying to find the perfect image when you could have just spent $1 and moved on. So
it's totally up to you. I mean, if you don't want to spend the money, then those are certainly viable options that you can use.
Yep.
Or if you would rather save your time, like I want to do, get into Canva. There are several videos in the training forums about Canva. I'm pretty much in love with Canva. I use it for
every day,
a lot of things. So if you haven't used Canva yet, I really encourage you to get in there in the training forums. And I do have several videos that I've used. There was one where I made a logo. There is one where I made a cover for a book. They have tons of templates in there. You don't have to be great at design to use Canva. It's really simple to use and doesn't cost a whole lot. So I definitely recommend it. And I don't have any affiliate links or anything.
Yeah,
I just really just love it.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and jump down here to, there's a comment section, one we missed in the comment section from Rebecca. She says, how would you set up a gift membership for sale? I'm not sure how that would work logistically. Would someone buy it, and then you could send them a link for the gift receiver to create their account? Not sure how to automate this process or make it easy on both sides. I use Rainmaker for my membership site, and gifting or coupon codes are not an option. Although I can create a complimentary product link, I've thought about hosting the gift option on Gumroad. I'll tell you what the easiest way to do is, if you could streamline your order form. This is probably pretty simple. If you could streamline your order form and be extremely clear for them to sign up with their card, right? You would have set up a membership site. I think the person would have to change their credit card eventually, but all you really need to do is make sure they put in the other person's information. Because if you get the gifted person's email and the gifted person's, name and all that, and the person just buys, like, I would only sell this on like an annual membership, by the way. I would not sell a monthly membership like this because you're eventually going to have to get that other person to change their credit card information. But
I personally would sell it as a one-off product, and the reason
yeah, that's what I'm
being
saying.
because
Yeah,
the person who paid for it is not going to like that charge a year later on their credit card because
exactly.
maybe they don't want to gift it again.
Right.
So I would sell it as a one-off product.
But like for a whole year, basically, like you just say, like if your annual membership is $500, you just create an individual product that's $500, or it doesn't recur basically after the year,
So
right?
then at the end of the year, what you would want to do is you would want to send an email to the gift recipient and say, all right, you had a year of this membership. Here is a special offer to continue for the upcoming year.
At a cheaper price or
Yeah.
something, a really good deal to make sure they sign back up. So as long as they put in the other person's email address, it's going to send that person the create an account link. So
Yeah, I'm not real sure on this. What I would do is I would try to see if there are maybe rainmaker groups on Facebook. I'm sure that there are. Get in there and maybe ask some people who are experts in rainmaker if they have done this and how they did it, because that's just a question I don't know the answer
but
to.
there is a greater principle here though, Rebecca, is simplicity. What is the easiest way to make this happen? Yes, there might be a complicated system. Yes, I know it doesn't offer coupon or gifting, Rainmaker, she said in her comment, but like there's got to be a way where you can just say, okay, this all boils down to this. I want Jimmy to give me enough money to buy Johnny a membership. That's it. That's all. That's what you're trying to do here. So if your yearly membership is $500, create an order form so Jimmy can give you $500 and then send an email for Johnny. Did I mix that up? For
I don't
Johnny
know.
to get his membership. That's all you have to do. Try not to overcomplicate it. Just be very clear in the instructions on how to set that up. On the order form, I would have a video explaining how to do it. I would have text instructions, and I would try to have instructions along the way on the order form to make sure you say, put in your friend's email, not yours. Put in your friend's name, not yours. And then when it's time for the credit card, say, put your credit card in, not your friend's, and set up a different product in your system. So when you sell this as a one-off, you can go ahead and make sure that the email is sent to the right person when you're ready for them to renew. Okay. So I hope that answered your question. And for everybody out there, anything you're trying to do, boil it down to one sentence, what your goal is, and then make that happen as simple as possible.
And you can also check YouTube, maybe search for giving gifts with Rainmaker or something like that. You may be able to find some type of tutorial on there.
All right. Our next question.
All right, the next question is from Veronica. And Veronica says, or I'm sorry, we already did that one. That was the images and information. Okay, so, and there are a couple of other sites that people mentioned in the comments. Also, unsplash.com and Dollar Photo Club. And Julie says that she uses a word swag app that looks at Pixabay for free images that you can overlay text on. So just a few more options for you there.
All right.
All right, Jessica again says, would the pre-sale process work on an existing community to transition?
Yes.
We've discussed grandfathering, but I don't feel like I would want to, or at least not for as long as I originally thought. What do you think about the transition?
We have grandfathered before, and we would not do that again. In a transition or a new member area, the assumption here is that you're going to be providing new, more, or better value. So you might offer people a discount to join, but when you transition them, you definitely want them to pay.
And I would just say, and I mentioned it in the chat a few minutes ago, but when you're doing a situation like this, so you are bringing people from a one offer to an upgraded offer, you want to make sure that you're really focusing on the benefits. What are they getting?
Yeah.
Not what are you taking. You want their focus to be off of that and on the additional benefits that they're going to receive. There are going to be some people who say, this is stupid and I don't want to be a part of it. And that's okay, because
You don't want them to be a part of it
they're
anyway.
they're not your target market if
Right.
they feel that way. But if you are providing value, if they see that your new offer is going to be something that is going to continue to benefit them and hopefully more, then you're not going to have to do very much convincing to tell them that this is the direction that you're going to take. And if they come back with hate, then it's been nice knowing you.
Haters
We'll go our
hate
separate ways.
haters gonna hate. Hate,
So
hate, hate, hate.
yeah,
In the
and
immortal words of Taylor Swift. Okay. All right.
right.
Let's move on. All right, next question.
All right. So I hope that helps you, Jessica. All right. This is Anthea. I hope I said that right. She says, I think a membership site would be a great fit for my ideal customer. Is there a threshold for traffic email list numbers before I try to pre sell it or work on content for it? I have an entry level product, a decent lead magnet, and an autoresponder in place. I have 11 on the email list, 50 unique visitors per month, and 60% bounce rate. Or maybe I should focus only on getting traffic and forget working on products.
No, you should never forget working on products. You actually should start working on your product. Your product has to be first. You've got to have some kind of product offer existing in place.
Well, I feel like she has that
I
because
know,
she has the entry level
and
product.
well, she asked this exact same question in the forums earlier. So, like, what I would say to you is this: the membership might not be the product right now. You might want to put together a simple product that's maybe $19 to $25, something like that, like a video, something you can create very quickly right now just to be a placeholder for that membership that you know is going to come. And then you can, as you build your content and your traffic, you can transition to the membership like Jessica just said she was doing to something else. But I think the bigger issue here that I've had this question a lot lately in the forums. I've seen it over and over again from different people is, well, how many emails do I need before doing this? How many, traffic views do I need before doing this? How many whatevers do I need before doing whatever? There is no answer to that question, guys. There is no magic. Well, when I get 1,000 people, I get this many, or when I get 10,000 people, I need this many. I know people that get 500 hits a month on their website, but their product is so expensive that they make more money than we do. And then some people I know get 100,000 hits a month, and we don't get that, and they make nothing. They make no money off of what they're doing compared to what we do. So every niche is so different. Everything is so different. What you really just have to look at is this making me money? Is this thing I'm doing making me money? And we always start with product first, because if you don't have a product, the thing you're doing is not making you money. It's just doing stuff.
But at the same time, we also caution people you don't want to make a product that takes you months and months to create
Yep.
when you don't even have people on your website.
Right.
So you have a great start. I mean, you've got your entry level products, you have your lead magnet. That is the two most important things right now. You can certainly outline something that you want to do for the future and start getting people to vote with their wallets on that. But it's like we talked about before, you've only been doing this for a month. So the numbers might sound discouraging, but really they're pretty good because you've just gotten started.
I mean, think about this: 56 unique visits in a month since you launched, and you got 11 emails. And I think in your forum post earlier today, you said something like, like 6 of those you thought were like targeted, legit people on your website who wanted your stuff. But when you think about that, that's like 12% conversion. What if you went and spent $50 on ads, got 1,000 people to come to your website, and 12% of those people gave you an email address? Those are numbers that most marketers would be like to die for. Like, people, that's a good conversion rate. So you just got to keep doing more of what you're already doing at the beginning here.
But I don't think I'm not sure how much content you have. So you do want to make sure that you have
Right.
a pretty solid amount of content before you start really ramping up ads. Because if people come to
Right.
your website and you have like an about me and one blog post, then probably it's not going to look too
Yeah, it was just an
legit.
example. Yeah.
So yeah, just make sure that you are working on all that. We actually have a podcast, I think is it 14, that talks about when you're first starting out, like if you have $100 a month and an hour
It's
a
14,
day.
14 and 15.
Yeah, I think it's fliplifestyle.com/podcast14. I'll put it in the chat box, but you might want to listen to that and just see kind of how we lay that out for people who are brand new.
I would say this. This is what we tell people to do. Okay, in a nutshell. Number one, you want to have something that someone can give you money for. At first, that needs to be something small so you can get it over with and done and have something. You want something that someone can give you an email for. Okay. Also small, also quick, get it done. Now people can give you the two currencies of the internet, emails and money. Then you want to create enough content to open some doors into your website. There is no magic number, but you want to open enough doors in your website where you have a nicely, like Jocelyn said, someone can browse around a little bit and have more than one post to read. Once you've got that in place, you're really going to start thinking now about how do I pre-sell someone into a much bigger product like a membership. You need all those things in place because once the membership launches then, or once your high-end product launches, you've already got a tripwire, the original product you created. You've already got lead magnets, the thing you created. You've already got doors into your site, and it makes it much easier to pre-sell at that point. And also, too, this is not Kevin Costner and Field of Dreams. Building it and they will come does not really happen. It takes time. I would never worry about any of my numbers. I would not look at statistics. I would not look at my email. I wouldn't look at anything for a few months. You've got to just flesh it all out and build those systems and get the foundation laid. And then you can go back and kind of look at your statistics. Analytics are such a draw. It's like crack cocaine. You just look at it and you keep taking hits over and over and over again. Like it's addictive. And you've got to get out of your numbers, especially at the beginning. Jocelyn and I seriously don't look at numbers that much unless we're doing something very, very specific with those numbers. We don't check them every day, and we're not going to because there's so many other things you got to do to make the numbers add up.
Once you get going, there's only one number that really matters.
Money. Yeah.
And time too. So you got to balance both of those out. But the most important thing right now, I feel like, is you need to get content out there, get eyeballs on your website, and figure out what problems people want you to solve for them.
Okay. All right. Next question.
All right. Next is from JJ. JJ says, along with what you are saying now, and that was when we were talking about Google AdWords, what are your biggest list building strategies?
List building strategies. Gosh, we've really taken a huge emphasis, JJ, off of growing the list. And we've really just focused more on that. What Jocelyn just said is how can we just convert more and make more money? I don't really care about a big list anymore. I'd rather have a 2,000 person list of the perfect people than I would a 50,000 list of the wrong people, or just of, generally kind of sort of interested people. We don't care about likes on our Facebook page. We don't care about followers on Twitter anymore. The main thing we look at is we want to know how can we target better. So I don't think it's list building. List building is not kind of our goal. Really, it's like getting the list right, targeting and advertising. We're all about paid advertising because we figured out that if I can just make more money than I spend, it takes a lot less time to target people in an ad. Someone might spend like Michael Hyatt. Michael Hyatt's probably got 100,000 people that like his Facebook page. It's taken him years and years and years and years of time to do that. Well, guess what? I can go in for $5 a day and target everyone on Michael Hyatt's list if that's my avatar. I don't have to spend years and years. He's already done it. All the data and stuff is there, and it's a lot faster to just do ads. So our basic list building strategy, JJ, is to target the right people, spend as little dollars as we can on advertising to get the most return. And that's pretty much all. We've switched to that pretty much in everything. We're not doing any content at all. No content marketing really for the education sites as much anymore. We're just sending traffic to them. And even for Flip Lifestyle, it's just a podcast a week. I mean, that's all we're doing.
But with that being said, I mean, like for Elementary Librarian, I have probably hundreds of blog posts that I've written through the years.
Right.
So those are doors into
mass.
my website. And so on each of those doors, and I need to do a better job of this, but when people hit my site, there's an opt-in box there. And because of the content that I've written, people are coming there, they're entering their email in that box, and therefore those are leads for me.
So in general, would you say our general strategy over the last couple of years was originally
starting out,
create enough content where you've got some doors into your site, and then spend money driving people to that content. And each content piece needs some kind of email collection, basically.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So that's where I would start for sure. And once you get that going, I mean, there are certainly other paid ways that you can do that, but that's a great way to start out.
And I think you can do it quickly too. Like, let's say you have 10 blog posts, and let's say that you went ahead and created a small opt in for all 10 blog posts. Let's just say that's what your website is today. That's something you can get done in a couple months. Most people get that done quickly. You could go ahead and start your targeting right then if you have a paid product. You always have to have something for, if you don't have anything for sale, don't run ads. There has to be a way to recoup your advertising budget and make money. So don't do this if you don't have a paid product. But JJ does have a paid product. So you could go ahead and start running ads to content, which has an opt-in, which sends it to the paid product. You don't have to have 100 blog posts like Jocelyn does on Elementary Librarian. You don't have to have that to make that happen. If you've got 10 posts and they're really good, run some ads to them, and you've got a paid product on the back end of that, you can start that early on and save yourself some time and effort. Okay. All right.
All right. Next question from Mariana. She says, how specific should I be on my sales page about the benefits of my community? Would I share the outline there of the courses I'm planning, including the membership and the sales page? Or is my sales page more general and the specific benefits are something I share with those I bought during the pre sale?
Okay. Now read that again. Let's pretty dense there. I'm not looking at the question. So,
Okay. How specific should I be on my sales page about the benefits of my community?
oh, okay.
Would I share the outline there of the courses I'm planning,
Yes.
planning to include in the membership in the sales page? Or is my sales page more general and the specific benefits are something that I share with those who bought during the pre-sale?
No, you got to be, when you're pre-selling something, you've got to be as specific as possible. You want to tell them every single word and everything that you're going to do in that membership at first, because it doesn't exist. There's no way for them to go kick the tires. You got to go tell them what is going to happen, period. But remember, it's not, your finished product will not look exactly like your pre-sale page. It's going to be something that evolves a little bit when the members get in there and they don't need certain things that you thought they would need. They ask you questions that you added something you didn't know you were going to offer. So create your outline. When I did Flip Your Life for the first time, when I created that sales page, on a piece of notebook paper, I wrote the 20 titles of the videos that I wanted to create, or whatever they were, however many it was. And I literally put that exact bulleted list on the sales page and said, we will also make whatever you need. You can ask questions. If you don't need something, we'll get rid of it and add something else. You are going to help me create this product. You're going to tell us the things you need, and we will fix it along the way. So you're going to have input. If there's something here that you need, but you don't see it, we'll get it for you. So yeah, be as specific as possible, and you should be fine. Okay.
All right, let's move on to Jamie. Jamie says, do you have a video of how to insert a tracking pixel for Facebook on your website?
I already answered. Okay, that's fine. I answered that in the chat, but
Okay.
we'll tell them.
And I'm currently in the building stage of my website.
We don't get into tools. We don't get because they change so fast. You really need an expert on some of those things, like Facebook ad courses. We can show you the basics, but there's so much to that, and it changes so often. We don't get into like doing like actual training tool videos on most things. But we do recommend people, and we would recommend Rick Mulready's course. We've got an affiliate link, but I'm not even going to put it in the chat. Just go to rickmulready.com and sign up for his basic course. It'll tell you how to do all the stuff. It's way more updated and way more detailed than anything we could ever provide. But I would highly recommend going to experts in their fields on tool training, because Facebook literally changes their interface every week.
But in all honesty, I mean, the tracking pixel itself is fairly simple.
Just copy paste code, right?
Yeah, it's just copying and pasting. If you go to YouTube, you can
You could
find a
probably find
video in
something.
about 5 minutes that
Yeah.
shows you how to do it. Just look at the date, make sure it's fairly up to date. But if it's something super simple like that, if you want to talk strategy and things like that, I would definitely look into a course.
If you're a total beginner, Rick's course, it's like $199. I don't even know what it costs, but like if you buy it, it's going to really give you a good foundation where you can set up some ads yourself. So if you really need help, go buy a course. But if not, you can grab something off YouTube.
All right. The last question that I have for right now is from Marnie. If you have additional questions, go ahead and place those in the chat box and we will get to them shortly. Marnie says, how long did it take to drill down for one of your education websites to make Facebook ads a good investment.
How long did it take to drill down? I guess she's talking about how long did it take us to target? Is that what she's saying? Basically, it's like she's saying drill down for them. Oh,
Well,
basically, I think she's asking like how long did it take us to kind of play with it to where we got a good ROI off of the targeting and everything.
yeah, Facebook ads for the education sites have been really profitable for us. And the reason why is because we have a really highly targeted list. I mean, most of the people on my list, I would say 95% of them are elementary librarians. And so what I do is I upload that list into Facebook and I do special offers to those people. What I have not been as successful with so far is getting people to join my list, and that's mostly just because I haven't concentrated on it. But the two things that have been the most successful for me advertising on Facebook with elementary librarian are to my existing list and
Retargeting some.
to retargeting. So I put a retargeting pixel on my website, and that means that anyone who comes onto my website could potentially get a Facebook ad, advertising or offering something to them, and they're already familiar with me, they've been on my website, and you see this happen all the time with websites that you go to. I'm sure you go to a website and magically they appear in your Facebook feed a few minutes later. This happens to me like every single day. So she wants to know also, when did you start making profit off ads? I mean, pretty much immediately. I've
Yeah.
I've never spent more money on an ad than I've made.
Now that being said, this goes back to something we just talked about a few minutes ago. That's for us. And it's because we have a highly targeted, well defined avatar and we knew where they were because we are the avatar in a lot of ways. I was the history teacher. Jocelyn was a librarian. We know what they're clicking. We know what they're liking. We know what they're doing. And we really drilled down and got there quickly. But I know some people that have spent, they spent $500 a month for 3 straight months and before they finally found an ad that was profitable. That's because their niche was different. It was a little bit harder for them to find those people, and then you had to tweak an ad to get it to actually convert. There are huge processes involved in this. It's not a magic pill, and you can't compare one niche to another. What you should be looking for when you're setting up ads is progress. Okay, let's say you create an ad this week and you spend $100, and let's say nobody buys anything, but let's say you got 5 emails. Okay, that's fine. That was not good. So that we're spending $20 an email. That's not where we want to be. So you tweak something. Maybe the image wasn't catchy enough, or maybe you send those 5 people a message and say, "Why did you give me your email? What caught your eye about my ad?" And maybe someone said, "Well, it was the headline, or it was this, or it was that, or whatever." So you tweak your ad the next week. You spend another $100. Maybe you get 20 emails next time. Oh, that's better. Now we only spent $5 an email, but we're $200 in the hole. That's part of the process. That is going to happen a lot of times. But the next week it gets better. The next week it gets better. Finally, you make $1 an email. You get it down to that. You've spent $400 or $500. You're still in the hole technically, but remember, we're experimenting and investing. We are not spending. We're tweaking and adapting and looking at how we're doing things. And then maybe the 6th week, you finally make that first sale of your product, and then your second sale. And it might take you a couple months and some investment in the learning and the tweaking and the checking of your ad for your specific niche and targeting your specific avatar before you make $1. You're not just going to spend money and get money back on Facebook. We did because we started doing ads 2 years after we had developed our avatar. So we had a head start. It wasn't just, yes, we've never really lost money on Facebook ads, but we didn't do it from the beginning. We had a well-defined business. We were 2 years into the mix, and we had learned so much about our avatar at the time that we were a head start when we started.
And with all that being said, I just wanted to throw out there that to make sure that you're advertising the correct thing to the correct people. So you don't
Targeting's
want
everything.
to
Everything.
you don't want to just find people out there that you think would be interested in you and show them an ad to purchase something. They've never heard of you. They don't know you. and they're not going to buy anything from you if they have never heard of you before. So that's why I've been concentrating most of my advertising on people who are already familiar with me, because I want to sell products. And in order to do that, I need to do it to people who already know who I am, who already know what I have to offer. And that is what makes them successful ads.
And our course, I want to, this is something really important here that I probably need to explain better in our actually training forum. Our course is designed to show you the very basics of how to do all this so that we can create that foundation to get you started and move you forward. So like when you go into our course and you see like the first thing we do is create a product, and then we create a sales page, and then we set up a basic Facebook ad to just drive people to it. That's not necessarily the best practice. It's just designed to teach you how to create a product, how to create a sales page, how to create an ad. Later on, we're going to, in the sales funnel trainings, we show you that there's other layers, other steps. You're driving ads to free content, which gets a lead magnet, which shows them another ad that sells a paid product. There's more steps to this, but you've got to get that foundation in the base and make your mistakes and learn how all this fits together over time before you can get to that point. Just like we did with our advertising. We had 2 years in business before we really started paying for ads, and we knew our avatar so well. We knew our product so well. We knew our customers so well that it was really easy for us to get ads that were working quickly. It's going to take people starting out a little bit more time. Okay. All right. I think we have a couple more questions.
All right. The next question is from Chris. Chris says, do you think all community memberships need content? For our Life with Multiples community, we're not planning on including any training videos or content. We're imagining it strictly as a private community support group message board. Is this a bad idea?
I don't know. I'd try it. I mean, if you think that for your niche, wouldn't you? I mean,
I think it can work. And the reason that I think it can work is because people are doing this with private Facebook groups all over the place. People are
that's
charging
true.
an
That's
amount
very true.
and they're starting a Facebook group, and pretty much all it is just a place to talk with other people.
That's a good point.
So I think it is possible. I think that there may be an opportunity for you once you get in there and people start joining the membership. Maybe there would be some type of problem that they would like help solving. And from there, maybe you could branch into some type of product,
Yeah.
or, just another thing that you could do to branch out or to diversify a little bit. I can also see this niche being an opportunity for affiliate sales. And I don't often say that. I'm not the biggest fan of affiliate sales, but I think that something, Life with Multiples, there are probably products
Triple
out there.
strollers.
Yeah, there are products
Stuff like
out
that.
there that you could review theoretically, maybe in its own forum. And you could use your own affiliate links. You would have to be careful to not allow other people to use affiliate links.
Yeah.
That is one of the rules in our forums. As some of you may have realized recently, is that we don't allow affiliate posting. And, you might have to establish that rule, but since it's your site, you can publish affiliate links if you want to.
And I also think you need to change your mindset toward content. You don't have to sit around and create a 20 course video course, but like this is content that's going to be in our membership forever. We're recording this call and it's going to be right here in this forum post. So everybody that didn't get to watch it today can watch it. You could do the same thing and just create content as you go. You could answer people's questions on a YouTube video and just post, or in a video, and just put it in your forums. And that's content. Now you can advertise, oh, by the way, we answer these 10 most important questions for multiples, parents of multiples, in our forums. And it was really just videos you did answering post forum questions. So yeah, I think that could totally work too, Jocelyn, now that you bring that up. And there's only one way to know. Try it. See if you can sell them. If people vote with their wallets, you have the answer for sure. If they don't, you won't.
The best thing is that, you've got a community of people right there. You can just ask them,
Yeah.
hey, I'm thinking about doing this. What do you think? Or what can we provide for you that you need that you're not getting?
Yep.
And that's the beautiful thing about having a membership community.
All right. Let's see. I think we have time. We got about 15 minutes left. So let's try to get these.
We got 3 more.
3 more questions. Okay. We're going to try to get to these next 3 questions. And then if we don't get to any other questions today, you can leave those in the forum and we will answer them before the evening. Okay.
All right. Marnie says, oh, this is a good one. She says, is it legal or ethical to take emails in the public domain, like public school teachers, and enter them as one of your list into Facebook?
this is it technically
Gray
it's
area.
gray area. I have researched this, and I will tell you that I have done this. As far as I can tell, in the can spam laws, and I am not a lawyer, quote, unquote. I have no legal authority to say this. I'm just saying what I think. Um, I have done this, and I cannot find anything that makes it illegal. I don't know for sure. Plausible deniability, I guess. But as far as I can tell, the can spam law is really designed to protect an individual. That's what it's designed to protect. Those are public record, public domain. I know as a football coach, I got a ton of mail that was sent to me through my public, the school that was sent directly to me for sales, like football pads, equipment, and things like that. I think this is kind of like that. That's the way I look at it. So I would say that you could do it like for Facebook advertising. We've been a little more tentative to straight email them though. That's been where we've kind of like, I don't know if we should actually send them emails, but it is publicly available. So can you do that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I don't know for sure that this is the best strategy. And the reason
That's
why
true.
is because
It doesn't
a
convert
lot of
good.
people are not members of Facebook on their school emails. So probably it's not going to recognize like a whole lot of them. However, I have done this a little bit. And the way that I justify it to myself, and again, I'm not a legal professional, this is my opinion only, is that I offer them something totally for free. So I say, would you like to join my free training? And I do have a 100% free training that they can sign up for. And when they sign up for it, that to me is opting into my list. And
Right.
then I have permission to contact them further. So as far as like showing them an advertisement, as long as you're not throwing something for sale in their
Yeah.
face, I don't really have a problem with it if you're giving them a free offer that they can either choose to take you up on or they choose not to take you up on. Again, just my opinion, it is not a fact.
And also too, like you got to think of it this way too. It's not going to convert. We've tested it. It doesn't convert great, and because you can't just show a random cold person a paid product. You just cannot do that. You are never going to sell to people by just randomly showing paid, advertisements with dollar signs on them. It's just not going to work. Jocelyn's strategy is kind of like traffic. You get traffic, you give them something free, they opt in, you give them more stuff free, and then once they get used to you and they're warmed up, then you try to sell them something. So I wouldn't try to take a shortcut here. I think you're better off making a list. We have tested it. It doesn't convert great. It does convert some, and those lists are readily available to the public. But I just don't think it's a great it's more of a supplemental strategy than it is an actual strategy to get money.
I'm
So
actually going to experiment with physical mail because, when you work with schools, it is a public record. And I am going to try to do a physical mailer. I'm just going to choose one state to start out and just see what happens and see if it converts to make it enough to make it worth my while. Something I've been talking about for a while, but I'm going to make this happen in 2016 for sure. All right, let's move on to Jamie. Jamie says S&J touched on memberships that serve as a support community during today's published podcast. Also, I belong to another membership about diet, health, and nutrition that I join mainly based on my interest in joining the community.
is this a comment or a
Just a
product?
comment, but I
Okay.
wanted to speak on it.
Okay.
The product that was included was a minor point. I'm there for the support. And that's the way that it typically is with most membership based communities. A lot of people, maybe even people in this chat room right now, don't even know that we have training videos in Flip Your Life.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, we've heard that a lot of times.
They
People
just
are
want the
like,
advice.
oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
They just
I
want
just wanted
direction.
to talk to people. And that's totally fine. And I was going to say on that too, if you're going to offer a membership community, it may be worthwhile for you to join a competitive membership community. Just for the short term, you may want to join it under a different name. Maybe you have a friend or family member who could join it for you.
Or just join it. No one's going to
And yeah,
notice,
just take a look at it and see if it's something, see what they have to offer. How could you make it better? Um, just take a peek in there and see what they have to offer. That's something that we've considered doing. And
We did. You just joined that one to
yeah, I've
look at it.
actually joined one recently, just to take a look at it, just to see what they do, see how we can make our membership better based on what I've learned there.
Yeah, man, you want to know what your competitors are doing just to see what you can offer to add value to your users. Okay. All right. Our last question for the day, and I think I'm gonna maybe need some clarification here is this avatar question from Monty. You see that, Jocelyn?
I do not, but I have another question that I want us to get to.
Okay, well, we'll do two more then. Let's do Monty's here real quick. I'm new at this. That's okay. We all were at one time, buddy. It's okay. We're all new at this as something. I'm new at this. I have a course in mind, but I don't know who my avatar is. Students, teachers, parents, with no audience to really survey. Do I just pick an avatar and build that audience, or the other way around? Okay. This is a very critical thing that you've got to figure out. Everyone listening needs to hear this. Everyone in the future or on the call, guys, you do not have a course in mind if you don't know the avatar. You might have an idea for a general subject, but you're putting the cart before the horse. You've got to understand the exact human being. And I know we get into these tropes of, my customer is a 35-year-old female and blah, blah, blah. That's fine. That's part of the exercise, but you have to know who you're selling to. If I'm selling worksheets and resources, that could go to students. Maybe it's practice things, but my sales and marketing is going to be written totally different to create, homework or, study resources for students than it is lesson plans for teachers. It might be the exact same content. That product might be the same, but all your sales copy, all your free content, everything has to take a specific person and point them to the product. So you need to step back from your idea real quick, and you need to say, who do I want to sell to? Who do I need to sell to? And then take your product idea and frame it for that person.
And I can tell you that students probably will not be the answer. Let's
Do
think
not
about
target.
who has money.
Who has the money?
Not students.
Not the students.
So probably that's not going to be. You need to concentrate on that problem. I put in the chat box. Yeah, I'm thinking show notes because of podcast. I put in the chat box a link to our podcast 41. That is all about establishing your audience and writing your content with your audience in mind. Definitely give that a listen if you haven't. And that goes for everybody in the chat box right now, because it is just something that we have come up over and over again with people in our community, people that we talk to on emails. People just don't have a clear idea of this. And if you don't know what or who you're selling a product to, you're probably not going to sell very many products. So it really is that vitally important.
Yeah, it determines everything. Like your product, like I said, might be for different people, but you can't sell to multiple people. Your content on your site needs to speak to someone. Your sales copy has to convince a certain person to buy from you. So you've got to know that. It's the most important thing you can figure out at the beginning of your business. It's why we can make ads and spend $100 and make $1,000. That's why we can do that. It's not because our products are, this world changing, better than everything that's ever existed, ever stuff. It's because we're targeting the right people. We're getting it in front of the person who is most likely to buy. So once you figure that out, go reframe that product into that avatar space, and you'll have a lot better chance of making it work. Okay.
All right, final question of the day, and it's a good one. JJ says, while we are live, I have to ask, any behind the scenes planning for the next live event?
JJ. Oh, we were just talking about live events earlier today. We are in our planning phase. We're actually probably going to go to lunch and talk about some of this right now. Live events have definitely crept up in our planning for 2016. We are going to be talking more about that. There are going to be more live events. It's going to be, we've got some cool things in place for these live events. We are actually going to be hosting our own live events with just me and Jocelyn. We're always working with Jill and Josh on our next big plan, which we've got some crazy ideas floating around for that. But we're going to try to have more live events, and it's going to be just me and Jocelyn leading masterminds around the country. And so we will be getting you more information about that soon.
But we want to know, just from the people who are here and also the people in our membership community that maybe they couldn't be here today. We do want to know about what you are looking for, as in, what would you like to see? Where would you like to see us come to? We definitely want to make sure that we're providing the best value for you, our membership community, and that we're really delivering for you. And Jeanette says, be sure to get to one. That is fantastic. And yeah, we've enjoyed them so much. We love getting to know people in person. It's so much fun, and everyone learns so much. I mean, us included, really, because it's just a day of learning and just growing an online business, coming up with ideas that you may have never thought of if you wouldn't be sitting in the same room as, several other people who love to do the same thing you
And just
do.
think about the value from the forum and the value from these calls. I mean, it's like somehow that's magnified 100 times when you're in the same room and all that energy is just there and people are really slamming it. And like the momentum that people take, after the live event to really take things to the next level is just amazing. We understand that that is the most valuable service that we can put in front of people, is to not only help you daily, not only be here in the forums, not only do these calls, but we want to be out there with people in a room and figuring this stuff out and pushing them down, to the next level. So they're coming. There might be a lot more than you think, because we got some good ideas. But so we'll let you know.
Yeah, Jessica says she's biased, but Kentucky or Tennessee. It's time to blow up the South with online entrepreneurs. I totally agree.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, Shane and I think that we really could make something happen in Kentucky. We have a lot of
We're
people
looking definitely at the
in
mountain
this area, and of course, we love Kentucky, so we're really excited about that idea. We also love Tennessee. We love
Chicago.
Nashville.
We
I
got some
love
Chicago. We got Los Angeles there.
So I'm really on board for any of those ideas, but just oh yeah, I like that.
The cruise dudes.
The cruise dudes.
I know what's going. That is going to happen. Calm down, Tommy.
Yeah, we definitely do want to do a cruise. Shane and I have been thinking about taking our children on a Disney cruise, so that might be an option. That's what Jeanette just said. So
we've also had some ideas, like not just masterminds, but we want to do some more community and fun things. We want to do masterminds because we think they're the most beneficial, and we can, when people get into them, we know they're going to make it work. But we also maybe want to do like a couple bigger things, like some community driven things, like something we can make affordable, or we can get a lot of people in one place. We've got some ideas about helping you guys connect with people in Flip Your Life in your local area. That's all going to be coming in the new year. So that is definitely a huge part of our plan going forward, JJ, is these live events. And we will keep you posted on all of that. Okay. All right, guys, we are starving to death.
Truth.
I have not eaten anything since I took the kids to school this morning, because we've been working pretty much nonstop.
Well, Shane's
today.
Been talking nonstop. He's been on like 3 Skype calls.
I've been on
Skype
calls. I've been talking to Jill and Josh over at Screw the 9 to 5. Was on the phone with Greg Hickman earlier on some stuff, and just
it's like extrovert paradise.
I'm
today.
in extrovert paradise today. Mastermind call, you guys. So it's been a blast, been fun, but we are going to go and get something to eat. Hope that we answered all your questions. If you have any other questions, put them in the forums. We're always here for you guys every single day. Thank you for spending your lunch break with us. Our next mastermind in January will be a 3 p.m. call. We try to rotate these 9 a.m., 12, 3, and 9 p.m. so that everyone has a chance to get on the time that works best for your schedule, because we are here for you guys. We love you guys, and we're so glad that you're a part of our community. So until next time, we will see y'all later. Go take some action.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Bye.
Bye.